Goblin launch detected.
This video is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc. If you're looking for cards in the US, look no further, as you can use the promo code MTGMUDSTA to get you 5% off anything on the site. Or if you're in Canada like me, you can use the same promo code at Multizone to get 10% off your orders of singles. If cards aren't what you're looking for, Original Magic Art has playmats, tokens, and sweet art that you can use that same promo code to help you get 5% off your order there. If you're looking to bling out your cards, using Alter Sleeves is a great way to do so, and you can click the affiliate link in my About section to help out the channel as you make an order. And if you just want to help out the channel, you can always consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month and join the generic Goblin Gang. Hey gang, I just want to bring to your attention that Johannes, Voss, and Original Magic Art are teaming up. This will be the first time that some of his beautiful art for cards like Gift of Orzhova, the Dog Plains, the Kaldheim Island, Prismatic Bridge, and Carpet of Flowers are available on playmats. The Kickstarter is running from September 13th until October 13th, and you can help support it and my channel at the same time by using the affiliate link below. Hey gang, and welcome back. Today's game is a bit different since it's a budget build, with most of us playing decks that cost $100 or less, or in this case, Nick playing one that costs $50 or less with Siani and Radiant. He keeps a Windreader Sphinx, Elgeth, Island, 2 Plains, Warden of Evos Isle, and a Thunderclap Wyvern. Martin is playing Dargo and Tormod, keeping Read the Bones, Blood Artist, Swamp, Exotic Orchard, Mountain, Grave Betrayal, and Soul Ring. Max is playing Rebbec Ich-Tekik, keeping a High Market, Command Tower, Throne of Geth, Zendikar Resurgent, Chief of the Foundry, and a Darksteel Citadel. I am playing Ardenn and Armix, which you've seen before, keeping Tortured Existence, D-Spark, Swamp, Batterbone, Thriving Heath, Castle Ardenvale, and Diabolic Tutor. I win the die roll and start us off. I play a tap Thriving Heath, naming black as it comes in, and pass. Nick plays a Plains. Max plays a Darksteel Citadel to avoid being blown up by that ever-present turn 1 Armageddon. Martin plays a Swamp and taps it for 1 to cast Soul Ring. I drop a Swamp as well and pay 2 for Batterbone. It comes in with a Germ token, and I pass to Nick. Nick plays an Island. Max plays a Command Tower, passing to Martin. Martin plays a tap Bloodfell Caves, gaining 1 as it enters, and casts Read the Bones. He scries 2, loses 2, and draws 2. He then ships the turn to me. I draw and go to combat. I hit Max for 1, gaining 1, and in my second main phase, play a tapped Castle Ardenvale. Nick draws for turn and plays another Island. 3 mana gets him a Warden of Evos Isle, and he passes turn. Max plays a High Market, and then taps out for a Digsite Engineer. He passes to Martin. Martin plays a Mountain for turn, and taps all of his mana for Black Market. I drop a tap Baron Moor as my land for turn, and go to combat. I go at Martin this time with Batterbone, dealing 1 and gaining 1. In my second main phase, I cast half of my commanders, bringing out Ardenn and passing to Nick. Nick plays one of those tapped Azorius lands for turn, and then brings out Siani. He swings the Warden at Martin. Martin then takes 2, and Nick passes turn. Max plays a Forest and casts a Throne of Geth. He pays the 2 from the Digsite Engineer to make a Construct token, and then goes at Martin with the Engineer and passes. Martin has a Swamp for turn and casts a Mind Stone. He then drops Tybalt, Rakish Instigator, and downticks the Walker by 2 to make a Devil token. He then plays out a Blood Artist and passes to me. My turn has me playing a tapped Witch's Cottage and tapping 2 for Mindcrank, which is like a good 1/10 of my budget. I then move to combat, getting an Ardenn trigger, and moving the Batterbone from the Germ, which dies, and Martin gains a counter on the Black Market and drains Nick for 1 from the Blood Artist, while the Batterbone goes onto Ardenn. I then swing my commander at Nick, who doesn't block, but I gain no life because of Martin's Planeswalker. Nick also mills 3 cards because of Mindcrank, and I pass to him. Nick plays a command tower for turn, and taps enough to bring out Elegith, Crossroads Augur, which seems pretty strong with his other commander out. Nick then goes at me with Siani, while the Warden heads at Tybalt. He draws 2 instead of scrying 2 from the Siani trigger, and I take the hit, and so does Tybalt. He then passes after that. Max taps 4 in his main phase for a Treasure Keeper, and then just hangs back and passes. Martin has an Exotic Orchard for his land drop, and further makes himself a problem by casting Grave Betrayal. He then casts a Blade of the Blood Chief, and once it's on the field, equips it onto the Blood Artist, and passes. At the end of turn, I use Despark on Grave Betrayal. I cast a Diabolic Tutor in my main phase, and go to find a card. I should probably grab a land at this point, but I'm not that smart, and since I know what I find, I can tell you it's Sir Conrad. I then pass to Nick. Nick complains that he has too many cards that he wants to play, and if only we were all that lucky. He then casts a Thunderclap Wyvern, and moves to combat. Elegith goes at me, and Siani goes at Max. This has Nick drawing 2, while I take 5, and Max takes commander damage. Max also has to mill his top cards because of my Mind Crank. Nick then plays a Plains in his post-combat main phase, and plays out Elite Guard Mage. He gets to draw, but doesn't gain life because of Tybalt, and passes, discarding down to 7. Max plays a Mind Stone in his main phase, and pays the 2 for the Dig Site Engineer trigger to make a Construct token. He then swings his previous made Construct, which is now a 6/6, at Nick. Nick just takes the hit, and mills 6 as well. Max then ships it to Martin. Martin gains a bunch of mana from his black market in his main phase, and plays Bastion of Remembrance, making a human token. He then cracks the Mind Stone to draw a card, and plays out a Mimic Vat. He sacrifices his Devil and Human token to help pay for Dargo, which trains his opponents for 2 with the Bastion, and also mills each of his opponents for 2 because of my Mind Crank. He also has 2 Blood Artist triggers which go at Nick, milling him for 2 more, and Martin has the Devil trigger deal 1 to Nick, milling him another card. This also has him adding more counters to the black market, and his Blood Artist also gains 4 +1/+1 counters from the Blade of Blood Chief seeing things die. After all that, Dargo finally comes in, and Martin passes. I draw for turn, and play a Plains. I cast a Tortured Existence in my main phase, and then bring in a Trading Post, and pass to Nick. Nick plays a Plains as land for turn, and pays the alternate cost of Saphara Sky's Blade, tapping 1 white mana, and 4 flying creatures. Nick then pays 2 for Rally of Wings, pumping his board by +2/+2, but more importantly, untapping his creatures. He goes all out at Martin, dealing a total of 28, 6 of which is from his commander Siani. This also has him drawing a bunch of cards, and Martin then mills 28 cards from his library because of Mind Crank. In Nick's second main phase, he casts Battle Screech, and flashes it back by tapping the tokens, and Saphara to make 2 more tokens, and passes to Max. Max draws for turn and counts up his artifacts. He pays 3 for a Chief of Foundry, tapping 2 more so he can bring out along his friend, which is another Construct token from the Dig Site Engineer trigger. He then swings the Construct at me, dealing 8, and passing to Martin. Martin gains 3 black mana from the black market in his main phase, and uses 2 for an Arcane Signet. He then plays out Anger, and follows up with his other commander, Tormod, and passes to me. At the end of turn, I make a Goat token with the Trading Post. My main phase has the other half of my Mind Crank combo coming in, with Sir Conrad hitting the battlefield. I then pass with 1 mana open. Nick draws for turn, and plays a Plains. He makes the argument that he has to take me out, which I feel is a gross attack on my character, and Nick goes at me with 6 of his creatures, leaving his bird tokens back. This has Nick drawing 6 cards from the Elegith Siani combo. Before moving to blocks, I activate Trading Post, discarding Big Game Hunter to gain life, which is unfortunately stopped because of Tybalt. The creature going to the yard does trigger Sir Conrad though, dealing 1 to each of my opponents, which has the Mind Crank milling each of them for 1. This has Max and Martin each milling a creature, which then has them losing 2 more life, and having to mill 2 more cards because of Sir Conrad. I get another creature both from Max and Martin, which spins the wheel again 2 more times. Unfortunately though, at this point, I don't hit any more. The combo then stops, and I die to Nick's flying army. In his second main phase, Nick casts Katar's Wrath and has Threshold active, so he gets to make some spirit tokens. There are 11 creatures dying, which has Martin draining Nick's and Max for 4 with the Bastion triggers, and Nick with all 11 of the Blood Artist triggers. He also adds that many counters to the black market, and steals Sephara with the Mimic Vat as she dies. Max then resolves his Treasure Keeper trigger, hitting a Mere Retriever, which he puts to field. Nick also gets to make 2 spirit tokens, and moves to discard down to 7 as he passes. Max plays a Forest for turn, and taps 2 mana for Reap. He has Martin count up the black cards in his graveyard, which is 17, and Max basically returns his entire graveyard to hand. He then taps 4 mana for a tapped Nevin Jarl's Disc, and passes to Martin. Martin gets a ton of black mana in his main phase from Black Market, using some of it to help cast Tormod. He then activates the Mimic Vat to bring out Sephara, sacrificing her and his commander to help reduce the cost of Dargo, which has Nick and Max getting drained for 1 from the Bastion trigger twice. Dargo is then able to come in for a reduced cost, and Martin gives it the Bladed Bloodchief before swinging it at Nick because Anchor is in his yard. Before moving to blocks, Nick casts Midnight Haunt, making 2 flying spirit tokens. Nick then trades with Dargo by blocking with all of his tokens, which are actually 2/2s because of the Thunderclap Wyvern. With Dargo dying, Martin drains Max and Nick for another 1 with the Bastion trigger, and adds another counter to Black Market. Nick draws and plays an island. He moves to combat, swinging the team at Max, and drawing 10 cards from Elgith and Siani. Max then responds by sacrificing Mere Retriever to the Throne of Geth, and adds a counter to Martin's Black Market. He doesn't bother showing what he'll return since he dies anyway. Nick then casts Return to Dust in his second main phase, exiling the Bastion and Mimic Vat, and passing to Martin. Martin untaps and draws. He's not sure how he can win against the flying army, but recasts his commander, which is immediately countered by Nick. Knowing when he's beat, Martin concedes the game to Nick. Game review time. So first and foremost, I think probably using that Despark on Grave Betrayal was not the best move, and I should have saved it for Elgith. Nick was drawing so many cards this game, and even though he could have probably replaced it with the Windreader Sphinx, it would have at least slowed him down a little bit. Considering how much everyone beat up on Martin, he was able to bounce back pretty quickly with that Bastion and Blood Artist triggers. It's a shame he didn't really get to use Tormod at all, but that's just how it is sometimes. Max actually didn't cast either of his commanders, which was kind of a bummer, since I think Rebbec in particular would have been pretty spicy, being able to give all of his construct tokens protection from a bunch of CMCs, and hopefully smashing face. I did get particularly greedy going for the Sir Conrad Mindcrank combo as quickly as I did, and I probably could have held back a turn or 2, and at least bought myself some time, or at least more activations, had I waited a turn or 2 before casting him. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, Cool Stuff Inc., Multizone, Original Magic Art, and Alter Sleeves. But it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.